Ark Royal was the first British purpose-built fleet carrier, as most other carriers were conversions, and Hermes was the first purpose-built light carrier. With the use of steam catapults, the amount of aircraft on the deck increased. And with 2 hangars, the ship could carry up to 72 aircraft, but with the development of larger and heavier aircraft, the number was reduced to around 60. Hangars were enclosed and 3 elevators were placed on the ship. The ship's flight deck was high, as the distance from the waterline to the deck was around 20 meters or 66 feet. Welding was used instead of riveting, which saved about 510 tons. As a ship made to fit the restrictions of the Washington Naval Treaty, standard displacement was at 22,000 tons. Ark Royal was laid down on September 16, 1935, launched on April 13, 1937, and commissioned on December 16, 1938. Her pennant number was 91. Overall length was at 240 meters or 800 feet, beam at just under 28.9 meters or 94 feet and 9.6 inches, and draft at just under 8.5 meters, 27 feet and 9.6 inches. 6 boilers generate 102,000 shaft horsepower. 3 shafts connected to 3 geared steam turbines gave the carrier the speed of 31 knots. Armament consisted of 8 twin 4.5-inch dual-purpose guns, 4 octuple pom-poms, and 8 quadruple 50 caliber machine guns. The island was placed on the starboard side. At the start of World War II, Ark Royal was used as a submarine killer. On September 14th, Ark Royal received a distress call from SS Fanat Het, which was under attack by U-30. The carrier launched aircraft, and these spotted the submarine U-39, which launched 2 torpedoes. Ark Royal turned so that torpedoes would miss, and the escorts forced the submarine to surface, and the submarine was abandoned and sank, making U-39 the first submarine sunk during the war. Skuas, which were sent to help the cargo ship, attacked U-30 but were unsuccessful, and 2 skuas crashed as they were caught by the blast of their own bombs. The U-boat escaped and torpedoed the Fanat Het. 3 days later, Courageous sank by submarines, and this forced the Admiralty to end the use of fleet carriers as hunter-killer groups. On September 25th, Ark Royal helped rescue the submarine Spearfish, which was damaged by German warships. While returning to port, the ships were spotted by 3 Dornier Do-18 seaplanes. Skuas shot down one of the seaplanes. 4 Junkers Ju-88 bombers soon appeared, but 3 were shot down by anti-aircraft guns and only 1 survived, which dropped his 1-ton bomb, and that bomb missed the carrier. A recon aircraft later located 2 of the escorting battleships, but not Ark Royal, and the Germans incorrectly claimed the Ark Royal had sunk. The British naval attaché in Rome assured Benito Mussolini that the ship was still in service. This was an embarrassment for the Nazi war propaganda. Then in October, Ark Royal was deployed to hunt the German commerce raider Graf Spee. The carrier was assigned to Force K, which sailed with the battlecruiser Renown in the South Atlantic. On November 5th, Ark Royal captured the German merchant SS Hohenfels, and the cargo ship was taken into British service. After the Battle of River Plate, Graf Spee had to go to Montevideo for repairs. A British attaché came up with a plan to make the Germans believe that Ark Royal and Renown arrived and waited for the German ship. This contributed to the decision to scuttle Graf Spee. Ark Royal was transferred to the Mediterranean in April 1940 with the carrier Glorious. Then the 2 carriers were ordered to support the British ground units in Norway. They would provide fighter cover and send out strikes on German shore targets. In late April, Ark Royal was attacked by German bombers, but no bombers hit the carrier. Ark Royal carried out patrols in early June, but on June 7th, Glorious, Acasta, and Ardent were sank by the German Scharnhorst-class battleships. 2 days later, a night attack was launched on Trondheim to destroy Scharnhorst, and that attack was a disaster. 2 escorting destroyers collided while Ark Royal was launching aircraft, and 8 out of 15 skuas were shot down. While returning to Scapa Flow, the carrier was assigned to the Mediterranean Fleet. Ark Royal, Hood, and 3 destroyers arrived at Gibraltar on June 23, 1940. The carrier joined Force H, and the force took part in the attack on Mers El Kabir, and torpedo bombers from Ark Royal incapacitated the French battleship Dunkirk. During July, Malta came under attack from Italian bombers, and Force H was ordered to deliver Hawker Hurricanes to reinforce the island's air defense. On August 2nd, Ark Royal launched a successful air attack against the Italian air base at Cagliari. She would also continue operations at Dakar before heading back for a refit. More convoy duty, air raids on airfields, and attacks on commerce raiders finished off 1940. In early 1941, the carrier sent off scouts to find the 2 Scharnhorsts. Ark Royal did find 3 captured merchant ships, 2 of them were scuttled and the 3rd one was recovered. On March 21st, a FOMAR spotted the German battleships but couldn't send out the report as the radio had a malfunction. In May, a large escort unit was placed with a convoy as Rommel was pushing towards the Suez Canal in North Africa. These ships would be under attack from German and Italian aircraft, but no ships sank. Then, in mid-May 1941, Bismarck and Prince Eugen began Operation Rheinberg to break into the Atlantic to raid shipping. After the Battle of Denmark Strait, Ark Royal was sent out to hunt Bismarck. 15 Swordfish torpedo bombers were sent off to attack Bismarck, but these aircraft mistook the British cruiser Sheffield. No torpedoes hit the cruiser as the torpedoes were armed with magnetic detonators. After returning to the carrier, the torpedo bombs were rearmed with contact detonator warhead torpedoes. The second strike was launched late in the day and attacked Bismarck with 3 torpedoes damaging the battleship. The rudder was jammed and Bismarck sailed in circles. The battleship was sunk by gunfire on May 27th. Ark Royal and Force H returned to the Mediterranean in the end of May, and these ships supported convoys to Malta. Hitler sent out a flotilla of U-boats to the Mediterranean to attack shipping. On November 13, 1941, at 1540, the destroyer Legion detected an unidentified sound but assumed it was the propellers from a nearby destroyer. 1 minute later, Ark Royal was struck amidships by a torpedo from the German submarine U-81. The explosion killed the 44-year-old able seaman Edward Mitchell, and he was the only man that died in the sinking. The torpedo exploded under the torpedo defense system, and the explosions knocked out all internal communications. The ship reached a list of 18 degrees within 20 minutes. Damage control measures were not initiated until 49 minutes after the attack. After hours of trying to save the ship, Ark Royal's list reached 45 degrees and the carrier capsized and sank at 6:19 on November 14th.